Hello there. It's been a long time and we've got a lot to catch up on. Now, while I do have plenty of exciting news, there's a little thing called March to War that I've been promising you for a while. So, let's dive into it. So what is March to War? Long story short, this is a concept used in some realistic fiction where alterations to a given timeline result in different events occurring or different technologies becoming available. I'm probably not explaining this very well, so let's have a look at an example. The best example is the game Warno, where I originally discovered this method. So for those that don't know, Warno is a real-time strategy game set during the Cold War. While many units are kept accurate to the period of the 1980s, some 1990s units are occasionally allowed to slip through. So why is this? Simple. March to War. The idea for the Warno developers was that, due to the East and West being on a war footing, some technologies in testing would be rushed into service quicker. This also plays into other factors too, such as divisions not present in certain areas being given time to relocate, ammunition stockpiles being built up in preparation, and so on. Now that's all great for a computer game, but how does that relate to a series of books? That is what I'm going to tell you about now. Now, some of the more observant among you may have already noticed a few future technologies sneaking into my books. English electric Canberras in World War II, surface-to-air missiles mounted on ships, actual cruise missiles. Alright, I'll be the first to admit that I went a little crazy on some elements. Looking at you there, flying aircraft carrier. But, for the most part, I tried to be at least a little realistic. So, that leads me on to my next topic of discussion relating to this. You may be wondering how I decide what designs get into the BioWar universe and what don't. Well, to an extent, I just wing it. But there's some thought process that goes into at least a few of them. Tell you what, you were really good last year, so let's use some examples. Alright, the Reaper 2 meteors. Now, I already knew that there had been experimentation with the meteors as soon as they started popping off the production line. So, when I did some more digging, I came across the Reaper. Originally a little in-house adventure by the Gloucester company, this design never really went anywhere besides one prototype. Side note, if anyone knows where that prototype is, please tell me. I really want to kiss it. Anyway, when I saw this aircraft, I decided that in a conflict against hordes of disgustingly mutated creatures, a ground attack variant of the Meteor would be loved by the RAF. Using this thought process, I surmised that RAF High Command would have requested Gloucester work on a ground attack variant of the Meteor way before the 1950s, when the real-world prototype was made, and thus the Reaper series would have been designed much earlier. Now, I know that's a lot, but hopefully it gives you a little peek into my thinking. Another example, perhaps? Go on then. We've already discussed HMS Belfast, but she is also a prime example of how this March to War theory works. In reality, Belfast's glow-up was conducted post-World War II, with technologies and priorities of that era being the influence on her design. Well, in the BioWar universe, those priorities came about much sooner. With the threat of America slinging nukes around like toys, nothing new there, and bioweapons now able to spread through airborne pathogens, the need for better ventilation and a sealed bridge were much more apparent. So, consider March to War. Suddenly those 1950s modifications start to look a lot more plausible in the 1940s. Alright, for the time being I will stop with the examples, but I hope that's enough for you to get the general gist of how I think. Okay, fine. I'll talk about the really weird stuff. Naturally, there are one or two exceptions to this rule, where the impractical or absolutely ridiculous are given a chance to shine. Some examples of these are the flying aircraft carriers, the Axis powers having a unified rail gauge across the entire European continent, and maybe a few troop movements being a little quicker than they should be. I mean, of course you can sail an entire army across an ocean in 3 weeks? Jokes aside, I also have a really good reason for some of these too. The rule of cool. No, really, that's it. Come on, if Marvel can get away with a flying aircraft carrier, then I can. But yeah, basically, there's one or two bits for my books where I throw realism to the wind for some good old-fashioned awesomeness. And what are you going to do about it? Not buy my unreleased books? Boycott my comments section? Okay, so that's it. I know this was a short episode, but frankly the last one really took it out of me, and I needed something easy. But we can't have your favourite content creator having an easy life now, can we? So, now it's time to tell you what I've been up to. Now, I'm well aware that plans never survive first contact with the enemy, but if things do go to plan, this year is going to look very different. Firstly, the devlogs are going to be paused for a while. I'm not really sure how long, but it's probably going to be a while. I know you're all going to miss me pestering you to watch my new video, but I don't know, deal with it. Now, before you go crying to your parents, face streaked with tears as you sob, "Pixie Fanboy isn't recording for a whole year," I want you to know why this is the case. To put it bluntly, I want to stop messing around with game screenshots and stock photos and do something more real. Now, what may this real stuff entail? Basically, pestering museums even more than I already do. Now, the problem with this idea is that museums work to their own schedules and not mine. Which is a bit selfish of them, but hey-ho. What that means for you is there will be less videos, but hopefully better quality. Again, hopefully. I'm not going to say a lot more on this for now, since I have no idea how long it will take and what content will or won't make the cut. So, yeah. But you're next, Jonathan. Also, for the time being, I now have an editor who is going to be helping me with these scripts. So, if I start saying things like, "I think Pixie Fanboy should pay me more," or "I swear to God, if I have to edit your scripts and watch the videos, I'm charging double," then you know why that is. Now, what else did I mean to mention? Have a look. I've got some notes somewhere around here. Come on, where is this? Cool flying things, sounding creepy about museums, kissing rare planes. Aha! Yes, that's it. What I've actually been up to. Lots. Really, a lot. So first and foremost, there were a bunch of changes to my life. Home stuff, job stuff, stuff. So that's why I went a bit quiet. However, I do have some things that I can tell you about in detail. Firstly, I am still writing. Since the last time I did a video, I've written 2 short stories, nearly finished writing another novel, come up with loads more lore, and more art. Yeah, that's right. It's time for another art showcase, and boy have we got a lot to catch you up on. Firstly, one of mine. Now, this is going to come up again soon, but the fact I have finally managed to draw something that doesn't look awful is worthy of celebration. Then, to finish off the video, we of course have some incredible new work by Captain Spades and Jasper. Right, yeah, you can go away now. Daddy Pixie's got some work to do.